100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Hello and welcome back to Cardiff. It's autumn at the airport, and that means the winter flight schedule has started, and the switch from summer to winter timetables always brings a lot of changes to the flight operations. But it's not just the timetables that have changed. The construction of the new parking garage at the airport is moving on nicely and is almost completed by now. Over at the terminal, we find a Boeing 737-300 of BMI Baby that during the winter timetable will be serving a wide range of new destinations, like Lisbon, from where the plane arrived 15 minutes ago, but also Malta is a new destination for the airline, to where the plane will be flying tomorrow morning. Next, we find this ERJ145 of BMI that has arrived from Manchester. The plane will remain here at the airport overnight and then leave for Munich early tomorrow morning. Also, this ERJ170 of Alitalia that has been deployed on the Milan-Linate Cardiff route will be staying overnight at the airport. Tomorrow morning at 7:30, the plane will return to Italy. In the ramp and also done for today is this A320 of BMI that has come in from London Heathrow. Tomorrow morning, however, the plane will be leaving to the airline's new destination, Paris, which is one of the new routes of the BMI main line from Cardiff. Also a new site at the airport is the newly established Spanish low-coster Click Air. The airline will be flying to Cardiff from Barcelona with one of their A320s. Tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, the plane will be returning to Spain. Offloading the last luggage after the plane's arrival from Dublin is the situation over here at this Aer Lingus. The plane will afterwards be closed down for today and remain until tomorrow morning's return flight. Just arriving and pulling into the ramp is this KLM 737 that has come in on the airline's late evening flight from Amsterdam. For tomorrow morning, 5 minutes past 6 o'clock, the return flight is scheduled. Arrived only 10 minutes ago is this A319 of British Airways, currently deboarding the passengers and offloading the luggage before it will be closed down for the day. Already arrived almost 1 hour ago and closed down is the 737-500 of Air France. The plane has a scheduled departure back to the French capital tomorrow morning at 20 minutes to 7, but with a strike at the French air traffic control looming, it will be interesting to see if the plane will be able to leave as planned. Monarch has started their winter flight program with a strong focus on alpine tourism. After having arrived from Grenoble, the plane will be prepared for tomorrow's flight to Salzburg. Air Arabia is continuing their Casablanca service over the winter. This A320 will be staying overnight and is scheduled to return to Morocco at 6:30 in the morning. The Air Berlin evening flight from Düsseldorf arrived half an hour ago and will as usual be staying until tomorrow morning's scheduled return flight. This evening's Geneva flight was cancelled, but Swiss did operate their Zurich flight as scheduled. The Avro 100 will remain at the airport until tomorrow morning at 10 minutes past 7. And now, before we head out to the remote stands, it's time for the news. Bankruptcy. Cardiff Airport Maintenance Service was today put into administration. The maintenance subsidiary never managed to recover from the loss of its most important customer, Ryanair. The staff was today informed about the closure of the subsidiary of Cardiff Airport that unsuccessfully had been searching for a potential investor. Investigation. For months, the fire detection and suppression system at the terminal extension has been malfunctioning, which last month culminated in a forced partial closure of the terminal. Since, an extensive overhaul of the system has been started and the airport has been allowed to reopen the affected sections under the condition of a permanent fire watch by the airport's fire department until the safety system has been fully restored. Questions are, however, being asked if the airport management may have been ignoring warnings during the construction of the terminal in order to complete the construction in time. Flybe confirms route network. Following last month's announcement of the takeover of the BA regional network by Flybe, the airline now confirmed its commitment to maintain the current network of regional routes from Cardiff Airport. The news was well received by the airport's management that had been following the situation closely since first speculations about the deal had surfaced. The airport management commented, "Cardiff Airport is satisfied by today's announcement. The current offerings of routes connecting Cardiff with many destinations across the British Isles is an essential part of our airport's portfolio and an important part of the infrastructure and connectivity offerings for the entire region." Eurowings return. After having stopped all services to Cardiff and initially having withdrawn plans for potentially new routes, it was today, in a surprising turn of events, announced that the German airline will start a new service connecting Cardiff with the industrial city of Dortmund. The service is expected to start by the end of the year and will be flown once daily. Arriving from Newcastle right now, and with that completing today's flight program, is the 737-700 of EasyJet. Tomorrow morning, services will pick up with a morning flight to Faro in Portugal. In the ramp, after having arrived earlier this evening from Liverpool, is this Bombardier Dash 8 Q400 of Flybe resting and will remain here until tomorrow morning. Already at 8:15 in the evening, this ERJ of British Airways arrived from Edinburgh and has remained here ever since. With a morning flight to Glasgow, the plane will re-enter services tomorrow morning. After having handed over their Munich route to BMI, Lufthansa remains at Cardiff only with their Frankfurt route, a stark contrast to this summer's program where Lufthansa at times was operating up to 4 routes to Cardiff. This was, however, of course, boosted by this summer's Football World Cup. When looking at the entire Lufthansa group, however, the airline is still a major player at the airport, like for example with Brussels Airlines, that of course has close ties to Lufthansa and is operating on the Cardiff-Brussels route predominantly with their Avro 100 aircraft. Right now, the cockpit and cabin crew is deboarding the plane that will remain here until tomorrow morning. Eagerly awaited by BA maintenance staff is this Boeing 747-400 of British Airways that has arrived on a ferry flight from London Heathrow and will be undergoing scheduled maintenance overnight. Holding short and ready to return to Barcelona is this A321 of Spanair that, as we could see, now is flying under competition from Click Air on the route. Currently doing a low pass is the C-17 of the US Air Force that will be doing nighttime approach exercises in the next few hours. If the plane will be returning to Ramstein Air Base or be heading elsewhere thereafter is however not yet known. In the cargo platform, a ERJ-145 of British Airways has been parked after it had finished its daily flight program. Where the plane will be heading next is currently unknown. On the way to the GAT is this flying lab of the German Air and Space Agency DLR. This very rare visitor has come in from Oberpfaffenhofen and will be doing several flights from Cardiff in the coming days as part of a series of experiments done in cooperation with the local university. At the GAT we also find the 737-700 of Germania that had arrived from Nuremberg in the afternoon. If this is related to the DLR experimental aircraft is not known, but the crew has already filed a flight plan for a flight back to Nuremberg tomorrow morning. And another rare visitor can be found at the BA maintenance area, where we find a former Northwest Airlines Avro 85. The airline has started retiring the aircraft type this year, and one of these planes has found its way to Cardiff, where it will be prepared for its new but yet unknown owner. And that is all for this time. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like, and if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe. With that, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next final episode of Cardiff.